Hey, what's going on, everybody? JT here. We've got David with Crypto for Change. This is episode 57 of the Next Block. Unfortunately, Will can't be with us today, but we do have a fantastic guest from Perpetual 3 on the backstage currently right now. We've got Lorenzo, the founder of Perpetual 3. But let's start things off with a little bit of market chat because we haven't done that the last couple episodes. I know David's itching to talk about Pepe, but what are you seeing out there, David? How you feeling?
It's very interesting. I feel like what we're seeing because I see a lot of people saying that the top of the market right now is where we're at. You have meme coins, like people are literally like Ben from BitBoy Crypto is creating the Ben coin, and you have so much like noise out here that a lot of people are thinking that we're at the top of a market right now and we're about to go bearish. Then you also have right. I know you're on that that side as well. But then you also have some people who are putting out some a little bit different thesis that maybe this still has a little bit more to run, but we are close. I fall into that camp right now. I do think we are going to see some red in the coming year. I think 2023 is going to have a shocker, but I don't think it's here yet. I think there is still some money to be made. Obviously, yes, I am hedging some bets on Pepe. It just don't fight the meme. I feel like at this point, I feel like there is some it's given some exuberance in the market, right? And I'm sure it's going to have its, bear market. We saw like last week, I think it dropped what 70-80%. I think it was actually over 80% at one point. But and everything's still getting hit. Algorand, obviously, I know a lot of people are starting to look to dollar cost averaging at this area because this is the, really the lowest point it's been since the beginning of the year. But then also you'd have to go all the way back to like 2019, 2020 to get prices that slow. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of good value out there in the market. I think 2023 is going to be a good year to dollar cost average. Obviously, prices could go lower. I still believe that there is a chance Algorand sees 9 cents or we test that all-time low. I know that many people don't want to see, hear that or think that, but it's just I do believe that's coming. But I'm not saying I still believe that there could be a run, that algo and the entire market sees before that fall, or at least maybe that's my hope. Obviously, the market loves to teach you the worst lessons, and so maybe it could just go straight down, and maybe we're all just too hyped up on Pepe to even notice. But it's definitely good to see some excitement in the market. Like it definitely makes me bullish for when we truly are in a bull market, and can kind of be glad that we bought a lot of these assets. Not saying Pepe is going to be that one asset that we're all glad we bought, but I think there are good assets to buy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us would be here if we didn't think there were some good assets to buy or at least some good potential in the space. I mean, I do largely agree that I think there's going to be some sort of I don't want to say downturn because I think I've said long ago that I think 2023 is going to be a choppy year of basically
Yeah.
sideways movement and nothing goes up or down in a straight line. So of course there'll be some runs where people make some money. There'll be some downturns where people make some money. But I do think largely between the beginning, January to December, we'll look back and be like, wow, that was a pretty sideways year,
Yeah.
regardless of the ups and downs along the way. So I still kind of stick to that thesis personally. I do want to take a moment to give a shout out to everybody in the chat already. We've got Maximus, we've got IRL Algo, we've got Dennis, we've got Christian. I'm sure we've got other people that haven't chatted yet. If you're here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and let us know what you guys are seeing out there. Is anything you guys are, that we haven't brought up that you guys want us to talk about over the next couple of weeks, or what have you?
Yeah, and obviously there's the Algorand ecosystem is still growing a lot. Like obviously we have
Yeah.
Perpetual, we're going to get to talk to them and learn about what they're building in the Algorand ecosystem. But Goracle, right, is just about to launch, or they have, they're launching here in the next, I think here in the next quarter or so they're going to be fully going live. But there's a lot of cool projects that I think Algorand's needed, and then we're also seeing talk from John Allen Wood saying we're going to further decentralize node running, and there might be incentives. I know I've seen videos surface of Silvio back in the day talking about how they didn't like that idea, but now it seems like maybe their backs against the wall and they feel like to save Algorand or to make it through the rest of this choppy 2023 into the bull run, we need to do some of those things. But it definitely seems like Algorand is still moving in the right direction. It's just the overall market is, just still just taking a beating. I mean, you had Ethereum go offline or not be able to propose a block recently. Bitcoin got weighed down by people, doing the Bitcoin ordinals, right? And so it further just shows this space is still ripe for innovation, and nothing, in my opinion, nothing has cemented itself as it's here to stay forever. Like, and call me crazy, but like there's still a part of me that believes the Ethereums and the Solanas and a lot of these things that falsify or have just maybe inflated numbers to make themselves look attractive, I think is going to get surpassed by things that actually are what they say they are. And I will say this, and the reason why we've covered Algorand for the past 2 years or a year and a half on this show, Algorand will be, I think, one of those because it's consistently been up, it's consistently worked, and consistently done what it said it's going to do. So that's still where I'm at. I'm upbeat. I'm positive. Obviously, Pepe has helped bring some of those positive vibes back, but I still am serious about a lot of things that are building and the builders in the space that are looking to actually make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I largely agree. It looks like Scotty here agrees with you as well, saying the fake will fall. Although, the old saying does go, "Fake it until you make it." So, I mean,
I mean, here,
maybe if there's enough time between now and then, even some of the chains that are kind of faking things or fudging things a little bit, whether it be metrics or whatever it might be to make themselves look a little better. I mean, by the time that time comes, they could actually be there. So, it's something we always got to keep an eye out for. But I totally agree. There's a lot of innovation happening, and I think that's a perfect segue to learn about a little bit more innovation that's happening on chain with our friend Lorenzo over at Perpetual3. So I think without further ado, let's bring on our guest.
yeah, for sure.
All right. So we've got Lorenzo. Lorenzo is the founder of Perpetual3. Perpetual3 is an e-commerce, Web3 development. So essentially bringing e-commerce to Web3 built on Algorand. I'll let Lorenzo handle the description a little bit further than that. But how you doing, man?
Hey, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing really well. So as you were saying, Perpetual3 is the e-commerce solution for the Web3 culture. We want to allow merchants to use Web3 technology and expand their reach to the Web3 community. They can create a store on our platform, which already is integrated with multiple wallets and cryptocurrencies from multiple chains. Of course, we will start from Algorand and then go to Ethereum or Polygon, and also allow merchants to provide token-gated commerce experiences. This one is very interesting because it allows merchants to restrict access to certain products or features based on what the buyer is holding on his wallet. So, for example, if he is holding a specific NFT from a specific NFT collection, he will have access to a special collection or a special discount or maybe free shipping, for example. This allows the merchant to provide a unique experience, build stronger communities, and also increase the value of the NFTs or tokens because you give a lot of real world utility to NFTs and tokens.
Nice.
Also, yeah, so that's the main features. Then we will have other benefits for merchants, but this
Nice.
is the main
So
feature.
So is this going to be something, sorry to interrupt, so sort of similar to like maybe Etsy or something of the sort where say I have, maybe I make jewelry or something and I can go through Perpetual and you'll create a site and create a launch pad or a launch, whatever, and start selling my jewelry through the Perpetual platform? Or is it more of like a back end technology that will be integrated with other e-commerce platforms?
So we will start from bigger companies and not on smaller creators. We'll start from bigger companies and artists. So if you are a Web3 artist, you can onboard and create your art gallery. So you can create, for example, merchandising store without worrying about shipping or production. And also on the other hand, we have big companies that want to sell to the Web3 community. And a good way to sell to the Web3 community could be to make partnerships with talented Web3 artists to sell special collections. So we will start from bigger companies and artists that have a proven online identity, let's say. This one is also to provide more security to users.
Nice. And obviously one of the questions I like to ask a lot of projects that are building on Algorand is, why did you choose Algorand, right? Out of all the, things that you could have launched on Ethereum, Polygon, it seems like, those are the big buzz ones right now in the space. Why choose Algorand to launch, your product?
Well, to be honest, to build this new decentralized e-commerce infrastructure, we had to go through a lot of thinking because we had to choose a decentralized storage system. So how we store data, what metadata to store on chain, etc. But the most obvious answer was which blockchain to use, because you should imagine yourself ordering a t-shirt on Ethereum, paying a t-shirt 30 USDC, and then paying $100 in fees. So that's pretty obvious. So to why choosing Algorand, and also we are talking about fees, but also about scalability of the infrastructure. You need to build upon an infrastructure that is reliable. For example, we evaluated Solana, is very fast, is low fee. They have low fees, but it went down.
Right.
And so that's a big problem. Imagine if MasterCard credit card system goes down. It becomes a $1 billion damage within minutes. So that's basically why we chose Algorand.
Yeah, and that kind of circles back to what David was saying at the top of the hour, where Algorand is, for better or for worse, for all its pros and cons that it has, it's very reliable. It's an extremely reliable network. Since 2019, it has not gone down, and for real world adoption to take place, for real businesses to build on top of it, not just speculative businesses and JPEGs and things of the sort, but for real world businesses to build on top of a blockchain, it needs to be reliable. So that's of course a solid answer, but I want to ask about something that I saw posted about an hour ago. Actually, I'm going to try to pull it up on screen now because it looked really cool. So give me 1 second and I will share this on screen. So let's see. All right. So we have this video here where it looks like people can take their NFTs and design a t-shirt with it, or maybe other types of clothing as well, right directly on the website itself. Could you talk a little bit more about this feature, because I thought it looked really, really cool, and something that I haven't seen yet in the space. So could you talk a little bit more about this?
Yeah, sure. So this is a very interesting feature for NFT holders, because we have NFT holders that are very passionate about the NFTs, but actually they can flex their NFTs only inside their wallet. We give them the possibility to print their NFTs on t-shirt, hoodies. We have mouse pads, phone cases, and also a beach towel collection for the summer. So it's an interesting way to bring NFTs to the real world in a very easy step. So you connect your wallet, you choose your NFT, and you send the order, just with paying with cryptocurrencies. So that's
and what cryptocurrencies, I guess, are accepted on your platform?
Right now we accept Algorand, most of the tokens on Algorand, so USDCA, USDT, and also the biggest token on Algorand.
So soon, Pepe.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that was the surprise for today, because we will dedicate a store only for this kind of cryptocurrencies, the meme coins.
Okay, there we go. So if you're in the chat, you got some alpha. Perpetual3 is going to be launching some utility for Pepe. It's coming.
Exactly. Yeah, it will be called Degen Store, where you can buy physical products using Shiba, Doji, and Pepe.
Nice.
Wow.
But we can start with Pepe.
Yeah. No, everybody's selling SHIB. Doge, I think, is definitely going to stay around, but it's going to be the battle between the frogs and the dogs. It's funny, actually, just a small side tangent. I kept asking Open Chat AI and whatnot, who would win in a battle between frogs and dogs, but it's language saying it can't choose between harming of animals and stuff. Like, I could not get the answer out of it. So we will have to wait and see it play out in live time to know what's going to win.
Oh man. On that note, though, I really want to ask about what is Perpetual 3's plan? Because you say that you're going after bigger companies. You're trying to go after companies that are already in the e-commerce space, maybe in Web 2, and bring them over to Web 3. Are there any companies already on that short list that Perpetual 3 has reached out to and maybe already made any sort of partnerships with, or that they will launch with come mainnet, or how does that work?
Yeah, for mainnet, we have a few companies, specifically from the gaming and fashion industry. They want to sell to the Web3 community and provide special collections. Also, a few of them want to build a special collection in partnership with Web3 artists. And we also found out that we have a huge opportunity with the wine industry, because inside the wine industry, there is a big problem of counterfeiting. So, for example, in France and in Italy, there are, big wineries, but you could find bottles in US that are fake, but are sold to the same price of the authentic one. Using Perpetual 3, you can sell a tokenized products. So you sell a physical bottle, and the buyer also receives an NFTs from a smart contract that certify the authenticity of the bottle of wine that you received. So this one is really interesting to fighting counterfeiting problem for the wine industry.
I actually have a quick question on that, though. I guess, just because, like, I see that NFTs will be the unlock the ability to know that the item that you're buying is authentic and is the true one, right? From the internet side of it. But I guess, how do you guys still, how does it prevent the greed side from, I guess, the human, like, say it's a label, right, on the physical bottle that verifies it. Like, what's to say they can't take that label off and put it on a fake, wine bottle, and still kind of like do a loop to, or to get around it, right? I guess, like, how can you truly verify that what you're buying, even if you get the NFT and it's on the blockchain and whatnot to verify, how do you truly know that you're getting it?
Yeah, so what you described is the current system. So right now they have centralized services where they
Hmm.
put QR codes on labels, but the problem is that you can just copy the label and print it out in another bottle.
Right.
So in order to be really sure that you are buying an authentic bottle of wine, you must request the buyer, the seller, the NFT that has in the wallet. So if he doesn't have the NFT in the wallet, he can certify that the bottle is authentic.
Hmm.
This one actually is a bit more limited because it can't be sold in, for example, Walmart, for example. It can be sold only with the fine wine.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of investors in fine wine. With this system, they can certify before buying that they're buying an authentic bottle. So the seller must show that he has an NFT on the wallet.
Nice. Okay. So I guess that there is certain ways I guess, to double check and triple check yourself to make sure you are buying the right thing. JT, you have a question?
No, I just think that's actually a really interesting use case for a platform like this, where it's kind of a mix between e-commerce and, in a way, almost supply chain management. So you can still track and make sure and verify that the goods you're getting are actually legitimate. But another thing I do want to ask is, the video I just showed was posted an hour ago, and it mentions "See you Wednesday" for the testnet, and this is a version 0.3 for the testnet. How much more testing is going to be done, and then when can people expect mainnet to launch?
So we expect to launch at the start of June. We still have a lot of, we want the user to test the platform and give us feedbacks,
Of course.
because we are building the platform around users' feedbacks. We don't want to build all the platform ourselves and then ask the users just to use it. We want to build everything on top of the feedbacks.
One question I would have is, because oftentimes, obviously I have a Mingo hat, I have a Mingo shirt that I bought from them directly. I don't know what service they're using, but I'm sure, they're probably looking into partnering with you guys. But one thing I've oftentimes run across when trying to create a custom, like, for my own brand, right? When I was trying to create Crypto for Change merch, is when I would go to like a designer and online to try to maybe make a hat or a shirt, it's still very limited with, like, most of the time, all I could do is just slap the PDF and it's like a square on the shirt, or, just the emblem right there on the hat. Is Perpetual 3 going to allow more customization? Because I'm someone, like, if I want to create something custom, like, I want to be able to do almost anything with it. Like, I want to be able to do like splatter paint, like just like all kinds of stuff. Like if I was making a hat or a shirt, like to actually have that type of control. Or is it going to be more or less just you would just put your NFT and then you have a big shirt with a big square, like NFT type thing like you would see in your wallet?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, the biggest work was about giving the service of merchandise creation to everyone. So you can create a merchandise store in minutes. You don't need to worry about finding a supplier, finding the logistics company, etc. Yeah, really, in minutes you can set up your own store. We will start from a simple design. So yes, the NFT in the middle, but also the NFT here a little bit smaller, just to start. But then the goal is to provide as much customization as possible. So that's the main goal. But that is much easier compared to providing the infrastructure and the platform to create a store in minutes.
Yeah, and I know you guys, and you can kind of talk to this as well. Your team is pretty young, right? From what I think Siwa was saying. How old are you again, Lorenzo? If you want to say.
I'm 22.
22. So yeah, you're a very young entrepreneur, and obviously that's super exciting to see. What you're trying to build. What is it like, though, to try to challenge some of these bigger companies? The thing I think of being a content creator is almost like Teespring with YouTube, right? After you reach a certain level of followers and views and all that stuff, you actually get a partnership with Teespring. That if someone watching my videos on my channel, underneath the video, there would actually be a little bar where they could get my logo put on a coffee cup or a t-shirt or something like that. What does it look like to disrupt that type of side of the business and actually get a big name like a YouTube or a Twitch or something like that to partner with something like Perpetual 3, and then be able to see that type of traffic volume on Algorand?
Yeah, so for example, we want to make big partnerships because of course they are the key to success and growth. But we also need to understand that we are in the Web3 space and not in the traditional Web2 market.
Yeah.
And for that, we thought about making partnerships with the NFT marketplaces. We have a very good relationship with Rand Gallery, and also we will expand relationships with NFT marketplaces on other chains. So we will make partnerships, but of course, in coherence with our business sector.
And you guys are also based in Italy, France, or over there. So how does do you have logistic people and businesses that you're partnered with that are in the States and stuff as well for US based users who may want to use Perpetual 3, or how does that look like if you're depending upon where your business might be located trying to use your business?
Yeah, sure. So right now we selected suppliers from Europe and US, North America. We will also expand to Canada, but we will start from US and Europe right now, and then expand later.
It seems like every week I try to do this show and then my yeah, landscapers show up. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but I want to actually leave the floor to you for a second because there's a lot that I still don't know about Perpetual 3, and we've touched on a lot. But what is the most exciting feature of the product? Is it is it the token gated sales that we mentioned before? Is there something else we haven't talked about from a user's standpoint? What should we be most excited about?
So I think that the world never seen a truly decentralized e-commerce, because we built the platform in the most decentralized manner as possible. We store much of the data on a PFS and then store logs of changes of the data on chain. So as a merchant, when you upload the listings, you must also sign that data on chain so that the user is protected, because it is also always certified what products you are buying. So you can find data on chain and data on APFS, and you can also make transactions without intermediaries because they are all managed by smart contracts. And that, I think, is the main feature, because is completely in line with the Web3 culture. So for consumers, this could be the most interesting feature. And of course, for merchants, having access to an untouched community like the Web3 space is very important, because it has huge potentials. As we have seen, building a community on Web3, it's really rewarding, because when you do it right, you can really have an engaged community and truly sell a lot. And that's important to merchants. So these are the main features for Perpetual 3.
And you kind of spoke a little bit to decentralization of the platform and trying to make it truly decentralized. I guess, how does that work? For like just, I mean, anyone can literally, go on to Perpetual3 and build their own marketplace, or is there any type of gated experience? Like I know some marketplaces for NFTs, have to approve your NFT listing and your project before you can actually list it, or is it truly, decentralized to where if someone wanted to come and literally create anything, they could?
So in theory, you could, but of course, the site is hosted on our domain name, so we have legal liabilities, and we will verify every merchant. And as I said earlier, a merchant can't be a new merchant. It must be a merchant that has a history on, for example, Amazon.com, or he has his own store, something that can be verified. Unfortunately, we can't allow new merchants very easily, because it's pretty risky.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense with the liability from the domain and legal standpoint of not wanting to put yourself into compromising situation.
Exactly.
But go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask. I was looking at the roadmap, and it does look like once we get past a couple of things, that there will be a token launch, because down at the end of 2023, there's a mention of tokenomics. So I want to ask. Of course, I was going to ask, will there be a token? But it seems like there will be. So I guess the next step of that question would be, what is the utility of the token, and is the goal to launch the token after everything else has gone live?
Yeah. So usually, I don't like to see companies that first launch the token and then build the platform, because I don't think that it gives a lot of credibility. So first, we want to build the platform, grow the merchants, grow the consumers, and then launch the token after this. The token will be used for paying, for example, for paid ads on our platform, and will also be used for a cashback system. So if you buy using a specific cryptocurrency or token, you can have a specific cashback on our tokens. But of course, it's not our priority to launch the token as soon as possible. Our priority is to build a platform and grow merchants and consumers.
Nice. And even thinking more along the sides of just like how it would work, it's cool to see that you could, put a cashback or almost like a rewards program in, with people being able to buy it, earning the Perpetual3 token, possibly even merchants being able to, include their own type of reward system. So like, say, I'm a big fan of Mingos in the Algorand ecosystem. Say they, partnered with Perpetual3 and they created their future, merchandise store on your all's platform. Is there a world in which, it could be like, we do quests, right, with the NFTs, and we earn shrimp? That's their utility token for their project. Is it similar to where like you could pay in USDC, you could pay in algo, but you could also pay in shrimp? like to buy? So now, obviously, I don't know how that would deal, since shrimp technically doesn't have a USD value. So I don't know how that would all work out. But is that in theory what could be done with certain projects and companies that are building?
So you can choose at your own risk to accept any kind of token. You will just need to add the ID of the token if you are on the Algorand blockchain. Regarding the price, which is not USD based or euro based, we have a pretty unique system, which just the consumer will upload the current price rate at the moment of the order on chain, and then the merchant will check that price rate on client side. So he will certify himself that the price rate is correct and is not a fraud. And then he will process orders. So with any kind of token, even if you don't have an Oracle system, which is usual because, for example, in Go Oracle, it's hard to find rare tokens. But with this system, the merchants can accept any kind of token and certify himself that the price rate was good enough.
Yeah, and I guess the thing that makes me think that is, like I have a bank account with my credit union, right? And every time I spend at merchants, I get points, right? That are, based off, I don't really, they don't have USD value, but I have a point system. And, if I collect a certain amount of points, like ultimately I could redeem like, 10 million points for like, literally, I think one of them's like a jet ski, right? But like that, those points don't have a dollar value. So I guess technically the company would be footing that, paying for that reward that I would be getting, even though I could spend my points. That's, I guess, the way I see being able to spend non-dollar or dollar tracked utility tokens that are like, being created in various projects. But I just think that's a really unique way to foster a community around, what you do and what these people are building and what they'd be able to use Perpetual 3 for. So.
Exactly. And also you made me think about another reward system that we have. On each order that you make, you will receive an NFT that certify that you bought a specific product. So this will further increase the NFT ecosystem and the wallets on Algorand, because for every transaction you will also have an NFT. And once you accumulate a certain amount of NFTs, you can redeem a specific gift from our platform.
Nice. And that was even one of the questions I think Seawell had kind of served up to us to ask was, how does Perpetual 3 look to help Algorand gain transaction volume and more wallets being downloaded? So I don't know if you want to add anything else to transactions, but you obviously just answered his question about how you could help more wallets being downloaded and created on the Algorand blockchain.
Yeah, sure. So the main point is that we will have a lot of contacts with cross-chain projects. So Polygon and Ethereum, we already have contacts, but we need to let them understand that they must use Algorand, because they can't pay $100 for ordering an NFT T-shirt. I mean, we support MetaMask. You can connect your MetaMask and print a Bored Ape inside on your T-shirt, but you will pay at least $100 in fees. But if they use Algorand, so we will ask them to set up a Pera wallet to use Algorand, so that they don't pay fees, and it's also much more secure compared to Ethereum.
See that, and that's just the thing, kind of take a step back here on just Perpetual 3 and looking at the entire crypto markets right now. Like this bear market, like I feel like even more heightens. And we were kind of talking about how, Ethereum just went, wasn't able to finalize its block. Bitcoin was slowing down crazy under the weight of the ordinals and stuff that were being created on top of it. But it just makes no sense for any business, and I mean this in the real sense. It literally makes no sense for any business in the world right now to use Ethereum. I mean, literally, I see this guy and he makes a song a day. Like, he's the guy who made the hilarious Gary Gensler Algorand song that, you know, a lot of people were sharing around on the Algorand chain. And he gets, you know, there's times where he's upset that people can't bid on his NFTs because Pepe is mooning so much that the fees are going astronomical and no one wants to bid on his NFTs. Like, could you imagine not even being able to tell your merchant that, hey, you know, fees are this amount every single day, you know, through, you know, forever, or fees might be $30 today. If a meme coin blasts off tomorrow, it might be 100. Like, there's just no logical sense where Ethereum, where people would want to build real life world businesses on ETH. And then that makes me think, like, you know, maybe all this merge and flurge and burge and I don't know, all the things that they have planned for the next 5-10 years on how they're going to scale. But, you know, you saying that just makes me think, like, why are people wanting to partner with Polygon and Ethereum and all these things that are supposed to be so good, yet they can't even handle the trading of what most people would say is a shit coin or a meme coin, right? It just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Imagine handling the volumes of a MasterCard, for example. This is, I mean, I think that Algorand could be able to do that. I mean, based on stats, of course. So that is what merchants and companies should look for.
One of the other things I'd just like to pick your brain about is, what are some of the other chains, maybe in the space, that you guys are looking to partner with, that maybe you see potential, you know, like an Algorand, you know, to that wouldn't be, you know, that could be reliable and not over gouging on fees and stuff like that for merchants and for users. Like, are there any other that are out there that you guys are targeting?
I think, I mean, we started with Solana, which is really good, but when we saw that they had outages, it's really too risky to talk with merchants and tell them that they can't do business because the servers are down. Avalanche could be a good solution, but we still need to evaluate a little bit more. But we really focused on Algorand because also the developer experience is much better compared to other chains. Even before AlgoKit, to be honest, I didn't use yet AlgoKit, but even documentations of Algorand blockchain are much better compared to other chains. But we will evaluate much more, maybe Avalanche and Solana.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the next iteration of chains that we're starting to see launch. I mean, you got Sui, you have C, you have Arbitrum. You know, you have a lot of these other ones that are starting to come out and start to say they're faster and stuff. But even at the end of the day, you know, a lot of it still just seems like fluff. I mean, I saw Gary Maloof, which we had him on our show a couple weeks back, tweeting out, you know, block finality matters. And I feel like that also has to come in heavy with what you guys are offering. Like, when someone places an order for a shirt, you know, they have to make sure that when that transaction goes through, that it's done, and they can actually know that, you know, once they close their browser or close their wallet, that it's not going to revert and they're not going to have to go back in and do it again. And so it obviously it makes a lot of sense for your all's business and why you guys are building on Algorand. Sorry to just harp on Algorand, but I feel like it, you know, it makes sense. That should be Algorand's slogan. It just makes sense.
Exactly. It's obvious. I mean, you can't say that we have a huge revolution of Web3 and then you can't handle 1,000 transactions in 1 second. I mean, it's really hard to deal with merchants and tell them that a server could go down and they can't do business.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty impossible at that point to get actual real world merchants on board if that's what they have to deal with. But I want to ask, because this all sounds great. I like what I'm hearing so far. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the audience that like what they're hearing so far as well. Has Perpetual3 received any sort of backing from any of the bigger investors in this space, whether it be like Borderless Capital, even Algorand itself, or Big Brain Capital, or any of the VCs that are around in the space?
So we started on August 2022, and then on, I think was September, if I remember well, but we were selected by the Algorand Europe Accelerator. They had a small investment, was 35K, And with that, we are building the company. Even on this regard, which is similar to the token regard, we want first to build a company and generate revenues, because we can generate revenues really, really fast. As soon as we launch on mainnet, we will have our revenues. So we want to fundraise once we have revenues, so that we have a much more solid company. And also regarding valuations, we will have a bigger valuation.
Yeah. Go ahead, JT.
I was gonna say I like that approach because it sort of seems like, you seed the company with, you bootstrap it with whatever money you can get, whether it be from the accelerator or from your own pockets, and then build the product and let the users use it and be the first ones to test it out, maybe even the first ones to start earning that perpetual token. And then once the business has its legs, start seeking investment outside. So because a lot of projects launch in the space where it's a great idea, but it's already so controlled and owned and operated by the VCs that invested in it that in a way, I mean, the newer people that are interested in it are almost just like exit liquidity once the token comes out. So hopefully, it seems like that won't be the case here. So I do like what I heard with that answer, but I want to leave the floor to you again. I know I did this once earlier, but we're about 13 minutes over before the top of the hour. So what should my audience, or our audience, sorry, what should our audience know about Perpetual 3 that we haven't yet discussed, whether it be, ways to go test out the site, or, just anything that they should know that we haven't touched on, fill them in here.
Well, I think that the main focus could be from cross-chain projects and cross-chain users. So I think that users from Ethereum or Polygon should really put a little bit more effort in opening their minds and trying to figure out how to use Algorand and through Perpetual 3, because they can use a good service. They can use using Ethereum, but if they are using Algorand, is much better. They will pay less fees and the experience is much better. So the main point, I think, and the main goal for us should be to onboard as many users as possible from other chains.
Now, I do want to build on that a little bit because one of the things that I feel like is maybe a hurdle for growing that sort of adoption and getting people to come over from other chains is simply the fact that people don't like using different products. Whether it be people just love their MetaMask and they don't want to use Para, or what have you, or maybe there's people that have only ever used Coinbase Wallet or whatever it might be. And one of the methods that I've seen used in the Algorand space, at least, is with Lofty AI, where they actually created their own built-in wallets to the platform, which, as soon as you sign up with an account on Lofty AI, you also are signed up with a Lofty wallet. Now, of course, you're able to export things to your own wallet. You don't have to use their wallet, but it eases that onboarding process because they just sign up for the account and then they already have a wallet that's fully functional that they could use. And I'm curious if Perpetual 3 may go down that route in the future. It seems like not in the moment, where you have to connect your Para wallet or MetaMask. But I do think it's a good route to at least consider incorporating an in-house wallet that people can, as soon as they sign up for the website, they already can use the website with whatever wallet is given to them.
So on that, actually, we started, as I said earlier, from the on-chain storage system, which was then later used inside the e-commerce, Perpetual 3 as an e-commerce platform. But from the perspective of the on-chain storage system, we had to create a built-in wallet. So we have the feature, but I think that before providing a built-in wallet, you need to build a lot of reputation, because the wallet is a critical part. And if it doesn't work, or if it has a bug or something like that, it's catastrophic. So again, first we build a company, we build a reputation, and then we can proceed building much more sophisticated things, like a built-in wallet, which makes a lot of sense.
One thing, I guess the last question I'll leave with, and this is kind of a question, but also maybe an idea of the platform. I often think about like, how does the user, or how could the user use Perpetual3, or your avid NFT collector use Perpetual3 to actually generate revenue for themselves, not only just using the platform to spend revenue to get merch. I'm guessing to actually put an image onto a shirt or a hat or whatever it may be, you actually have to hold that image in your wallet. Or could I just pull an image that's in one of my files on my computer?
No, even on that regard, we have legal liabilities
Okay.
because when you buy an NFT, you have a personal use contract usually. For example, with Bored Apes, you can also have a commercial use, but in general, you have personal use. So as a consumer, you buy an NFT and you can print one T-shirt or one merchandise for yourself, and you can't buy to other people. Otherwise, you would breach the contract with the NFT creator.
Right.
So this one is for consumers, but for merchants, they can create more revenues by creating a merchandising store.
No. I get that. I guess maybe I didn't word my question right. I'm saying, like, so if I go on with my wallet right now and I were, say you guys were live and I were to connect it, can I only print images on the shirts or on the merchandise of NFTs I hold in my wallet? Or could I pull a image that I have on my computer desktop that's actually of someone else's NFT and put it on a shirt?
So as a consumer, you can only print from the NFTs that you hold in your wallets.
Okay.
So we verify that you actually have the NFTs that you want to print.
Okay. And that kind of brought me to the second part of my question, or the thing I was saying, which is, could there be a way in which you actually could, if you own, like, say I own, say I owned 100 Mingos, right? And they were the best Mingos that, everyone in the Algorand ecosystem wanted to have on a shirt. Is there a way I could actually, like, get a cut of revenue if I allowed other people to use my Mingo to put on a shirt that they wanted? Like, say I just wanted one, but I didn't own it, but I could still maybe pay a fee to the owner of that, NFT to actually be able to make a shirt with it. Does that make sense?
So as a consumer, we didn't think about that because we thought about providing this kind of feature to merchants.
Right.
So let's say that you have a big community, you can provide, you can have a referral link where you just share your referral link and you earn fees when you receive orders. But this one is dedicated to merchants. We could think a little bit more on that and maybe expand this feature to consumers.
Yeah, because I don't know, it's just an idea of, a way that, like, imagine if you're someone who is a very big, NFT collector in the space, and people want to maybe get shirts with your specific, NFT on it. I mean, it's just an idea of, like, you could have a button, a toggle on and off switch of allow others to use your NFT for their merchandise or something like that. And then obviously every time it's used, it could be a very small amount, but there would be a royalty paid to you, but since you technically own the asset that they're using the likeness of to make a merch. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah, that could be very interesting because it could be another source of revenues for NFT creators.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting back to, because you guys are obviously, launching in a bear market. We're seeing left and right. It feels like every week someone else in the space, either it's on Algorand or outside the Algorand ecosystem, is having to shut down operations because funding is running low. A lot of these projects launched a token right at the start, and now all that money they've made from the launch is now gone. No VCs are swimming in the tank looking to throw out money, and so people are having to wind down. But it's like, if you generate more and more ways that money can be made, obviously it's just going to bring more and more diverse groups of people to use the platform, thus making you guys, have a longer runway ahead of you.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool idea, honestly. I didn't even think about that, but it's, in a way, it's sort of like, I own this asset and I'm basically licensing its use. So if you want to use it, I grant you the license to use it, put it on a shirt or whatever. That's an interesting idea. I'd actually wonder how it would be incorporated on a more technical level, but that is a really cool idea, David. Lorenzo, this has been fantastic. We're 5 minutes away from the top of the hour now, but really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us on the program. We look forward to the launch of Perpetual3. I believe Wednesday will be the new version of the testnet, correct?
Exactly.
Awesome. And where can people go to, learn more and also test out the testnet? Is there a specific website that you want to shout out?
Yes, sure. It's perpetual3.com. I can just share. No.
Sure. I think.
Yeah, you can share. We'll bring it up. You just have to click share your screen and we can throw it up there.
I sent inside the private chat.
Oh, I'll pull it up on my screen. Let's see. Is this right here? This is the main website, perpetual3.com.
Yeah, exactly.
And then testnet right here. This button right here. Perfect. Easy. Awesome. All right, everybody. If you want to go test out the Perpetual3 website and testnet, go to perpetual3.com. I'll leave a link down in the video description down below. Click this box and you'll be brought right to the testnet. And of course, if I had looked, that supported answered some of my questions right here from before. But yeah, this has been fantastic, Lorenzo. I really appreciate your time and sharing this project with us. It's must be very interesting being so young in the space, but also having such a very interesting and cool idea that a lot of people are excited for. There's a lot of notifications that we get every time Perpetual3 tags us in a post. There's a lot of notifications. So a lot of activity, and it seems pretty exciting. And, if anyone in the audience has any questions for our guest before we take off, definitely let us know. But otherwise, the floor is yours to, say your final thoughts.
Sure. I want really to thank you for having me today. I think it's really important to help each other in this space because, in bear market, we all are working hard and we need to help each other. And this show is very important, I think. Every piece that could increase the value of our community is very important. So really, I want to thank you a lot.
Yeah, no problem. It looks like Dennis the Bad Taxi says you need to hire me. So I do have some time on my schedule. So maybe if you want to we can have an interview. But obviously thanks for coming on. I will definitely be looking forward to using Perpetual3. I love getting merchandise. As you can tell, I wear I don't know. It's just fun. It is like you said at the beginning. It's a great way to express especially for a lot of NFT holders. Outside of just your electronic wallet, it's a way to express yourself through your NFTs in the real world. And so obviously looking forward to your guys' launch and what you guys bring to the Algorand ecosystem. It looks like it's going to be adding a lot of value. So super excited.
Thank you very much, guys.
Awesome. All right, everybody, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and tune in every Monday, same time. We'll be back next week with another great guest. And until then, we'll catch you next time. Thanks.